Good evening. I'd like to call this regular meeting, the Bolingbrook Village Board to order. Start with a pledge to the flag. I'd like to ask Corinne Alessandro to please come up, please, to pledge the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Corinne's been an intern here this summer, returning to college this fall. Next, we have a roll call, please.
Mayor Claire.
Here.
Trustee Zarate.
Here.
Trustee Lawler.
Here.
Trustee Basta.
Here.
Trustee Watts.
Here.
Trustee Carpenzano.
Here.
Trustee Gasquith.
Here. Next, I have the approval of minutes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Basta, second of trustee Watts. Questions or comments, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. They're approved. Mr. Bowen, the agenda.
No additions or corrections.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Lawler, second of trustee Carpenzano. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approved. Next, the approval of appointments. We have one appointment tonight to the Arts Commission, Tina Armstrong. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion trustee Basta, second of trustee. Appointment. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It's approved. Reports of officers. Start with the appointment to commission. Is Tina Armstrong here? Would you come up, please? Accompanying her is Hillary Rosenthal with the Arts Commission. She's going to be appointed to the Arts Commission. She's new to Bolingbrook, relatively new, but she kind of grew up here. Her father was John Armstrong, who was a trustee in this village, I believe from 1981 to 85. John is, by the way, has some health issues, but is with us. And did you come back to take care of him?
I did.
Okay, what a nice daughter, huh? Anyway, got a bachelor's degree in communications and wants to be involved in the Arts Commission, so here we go. If you would raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
Tina Armstrong.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Municipal Code of the Village of Bolingbrook.
Municipal Code of the Village of Bolingbrook.
I will faithfully discharge my duties
I both faithfully discharge my duties
as a member of the Arts Commission,
as a member of the Arts
to
Commission,
the best of my ability,
best of my ability,
in a manner prescribed by law.
in a manner prescribed by law.
Congratulations. Here's your official commission and a Bolingbrook 10.
Thank you so much.
Welcome aboard. How you doing, Hillary? Good to see you.
And let's hope everybody here
Well, they
comes
can't
to
hear you.
let's hope everybody here can come to our Arts on the Row Latin Jazz concert with dance lessons at the Promenade this Friday night.
Okay. Ken, you'll be there, won't you?
Absolutely.
Fred Astaire Dance Studio.
Hey, you, what kind of guy was Fred? Okay. A few catch-up points. First of all, Rodeo Drive's been closed, like some of you know, live in the west end of town due to road construction. They had to make a 23-foot deep cut in the road to put in some utility lines, and they could have done half the road and then done the other half of the road, but it would have been significantly longer. It made more sense to close the road for 2 weeks, make the cut, get the job done. They're putting in the final patching today. And tomorrow, hopefully late tomorrow, they'll be removing the signs, or at the latest Thursday morning, and Rodeo Drive will be reopened. We also are working on a plan to repair Royce Road, bring it up out of the floodplain. That's about a 6-week project, and clearly will be faster if the road is closed for 6 weeks to do it. That will clearly be an inconvenience to people that live and commute on Royce Road. There is an alternative. People have certainly learned it over the years, because when the river floods and the road is closed, that's the alternative you took. And we probably will support closing it for 6 weeks to get the road done, which should eliminate any further flooding on that road, which will keep it open 24/7 365 days a year. That project is being paid for by Elmhurst Chicago Stone Quarry people because it's in their best interest. They have spent millions to eliminate flooding in that area, and we appreciate their support of the community. But we don't mind being the beneficiary of their good work. Also, we got notice this week that Mannheim Auto Auction is closing. That's the group, well, first of all, when Old Chicago closed, for those who were around back then, the building sat for many years empty, dilapidated, and looking very unsightly. Finally, a group purchased it, no, finally, IC Industries, I believe it was, decided to tear the building down. And that was, watching that come down was in itself interesting experience. The building then, the site sat empty for a number of years, and finally a company called Arena Auto Auction came along and wanted to buy it and turn it into an auto auction. Now, we did not think at the time that was highest and best used by any means, but the site, because it was a lot of rubble from the construction site and demolition, and it was a large site, and frankly, building in Bolingbrook was non-existent anywhere else, and I was very anxious to see lights get back on that site. So after a series of negotiations over several months, Arena Auto Auction came in, and there's about 120 acres, I believe, of their auction house itself and parking for the auction house. The auction business, like other businesses, is being impacted a great deal by online purchasing, the internet. People can buy a car looking at a picture, sitting at their desk in the state of Washington or Florida or wherever around the world, buy a car and have it shipped. It used to be dealers would flock in and spend a couple of days going to the auction and having dinner and whatever. But those days are gone, so they've been dwindling, and of course the car dealerships have had their issues too with excessive inventories. So consequently, they have decided to close. I'm not sure what their complete plans are. We have not yet to meet them, but I did get the official notice they'll be closing sometime this fall. Now, that will create an opportunity. I believe those properties, once they're put up for sale, will be sold within 90 days. It's very hot property for other distribution buildings and so forth, as we have south of 55. I was talking to a local businessman today, and his vision for that property was to build housing. I said, no, we're not building housing south 55 in the middle of an industrial park. But it will go quickly. It's unfortunate that Mannheim is closing, and there are a couple hundred people affected with jobs from Bolingbrook as well as the surrounding area. But I also am not absolutely surprised that Mannheim's moving, and the property is worth significantly more than what they paid for it back in the early 90s or late 80s, whenever it was. And one more point I want to make is we have somebody sitting at the dais that's turning the ripe old age of 40 tomorrow.
Wow.
Right, Lucas?
Yes, turn 40 tomorrow.
So some of us vaguely remember what that was like.
I'll
Anyway,
give you a report.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
And on a sad note, I've been doing this a very long time, 33, 34 years, and I've worked with a lot of trustees over the years. We lost an excellent trustee a couple of years ago in Leroy Brown. And I don't know if Bolingbrook will ever get over that. It's going to be at least a generation or two. He made such an impact on so many people. Well, we lost another trustee who really had many of the same, not qualifications, but attributes. Pat Shanks. I've known Pat probably going back to when I became a trustee back in the late 70s. Not well, but I knew her. I met her. Former First Lady. Her husband, Bob Shanks, was one of the early village presidents. In fact, he was the second village president. His picture's on the wall back there. So she and Bob were founders of the village, worked for the incorporation referendum, were involved in all the community activities. She has a very long list of accomplishments, community involvement, and she passed a couple weeks ago from a number of reasons, and fortunately I got to see her a couple of days before she passed, and she will be missed. Just a tremendous lady. I've got some pictures prepared to show you of Pat Shanks. I believe there's 17 of them. I have comments on a couple, but she had a proven record of accomplishment, got involved. We needed to put the first picture of Pat up, please. Is this on an automatic timer? Then take it off that, please. Go back. Go back. That's...
First one.
Okay. A few years ago, I don't know, 15, 16, whatever, we had a vacancy for trustee. And I spend a lot of time watching Bolingbrook, watching people in Bolingbrook, looking for people that are truly involved, who just don't show up at election time. And I saw Pat Shanks, and I thought, you know what? I was curious, because it's been several years since she was involved. She's still involved, but not in political or community activities as much as she was early on. So I called her and asked her if I'd come over and talk to her, because I really felt we needed a trustee that had some age, experience in this community. I felt we needed a trustee that cared about this town, and she clearly had proven that over the years. And quite frankly, she lived on the east side of Bolingbrook. Used to be called the old section, now it's called historic Bolingbrook. And I've always tried to have somebody from that part of Bolingbrook on the board, because they remember early Bolingbrook. They remember when they didn't have any streetlights or sidewalks, fire stations, paved streets in many cases. They knew where we came from in 54 short years to what we've accomplished and have today.
Picture.
Sorry.
Tape still rolling?
Yes.
Can we stop the rolling? All right, well, I didn't know they were going to have it on automatic, sorry. The second picture, when it comes back up the third time, is a picture of Pat and Bob, I assume back in the 60s. They have 5 sons, 4 pictured here. The next picture is a picture of Pat and Bob, and I didn't know her back then, but obviously they had a lot of great times together. Next, you'll see a picture of them with a wedding with one of their sons, trying to keep up with this horse race here. There's a picture with her and her sons, Jeff, Jerry, Tim, Joel, and Dan. Bob, by the way, was township supervisor after he was village president. You can't stop this. I'm sorry. You can't stop it? The next, well, are we going to start over again? Oh, man. The picture I was talking about that came up and went was a picture of Leroy and Pat together. Leroy had a tremendous amount of respect for Pat, and of course Pat had a tremendous amount of respect for Leroy. In fact, one of the favorite things I like to do with Pat is when I would see her with a businessman or a strange person that she didn't know, I'd say, "Excuse me, I'd like you to meet my mother." That's the first time I did it, she was a little bit shell-shocked, but she got used to it and expected it. You're going to see, there it is, a picture. The next picture is a picture of the village board with Don Sales. Some of you may know Don. Don comes to meetings frequently. The next picture is a picture with Pat Shanks and the ambassador from Pakistan who was in the area, and she went to meet him. Next picture is a picture of her and Grace Fox, Maureen Fox's daughter, who they great couple. Another one is Bob Quinn. It was a local business attorney that was. The next picture is a picture of her in the parade. Picture with her with a Christmas, and of course a picture with Mike Carpenzano. I think that would, the Me Too people might not like that picture. And of course this one kind of sums it up. She's the one. And lastly is a proclamation. Can you hold that one? And I was going to read this proclamation in recognition of Pat. This was read at her when she retired. Whereas the village of Bolingbrook was a community of over 76,000 people incorporated in 1965, and Patricia Shanks has been a member of the village since 1961. She has 5 sons, 12 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren. Whereas Pat has proudly served the residents of Bolingbrook since being elected as a village trustee on April 13, 2003. She was re-elected in 2007 and 11. Retired on February 14, 2017 after serving 14 commendable years as a Bolingbrook village trustee. Pat served as a member of the Bolingbrook Fire and Police Board from August of 96 to March of 2003, as well as a member of the Public Safety Committee, the Land Use Committee, the Public Works Committee, and the Finance Committee. She's always been a very thoughtful, dedicated individual that has served on many community organizations, including 2-term president of the Bolingbrook Business and Professional Women's Organization, a volunteer of the local crisis line in Will County, a member of the committee to incorporate Bolingbrook, a member of the ongoing Bolingbrook Homeowners Association, Bolingbrook, our housing counselor for the Community Service Council in 1999. She was named Female Citizen of the Year, and her picture's over here for that honor. She's truly been an asset to the residents, making Bolingbrook a wonderful place to be. And we declared by proclamation Pat Shanks Day. It obviously brings home the fact that we're all getting older when you see people like Leroy Bound pass and Pat Shanks pass. But they truly were the spirit of this community. And, you know, we got a lot of newbies in town that came here, and their snapshot of Bolingbrook is a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And to lose the wisdom and knowledge and observations that Pat Shanks had going back into the late 50s through incorporation. You know, incorporation took 2 attempts. The first time it was voted down. Truly a pioneer of Bolingbrook, and she will be missed, as I used to call her. Meet my mom. She liked that, I think. Anyway. Next, we have bill approval, Exhibit A, $1,437,550.53. Exhibit B, $4,407,958.93, a total of $5,845,509.46. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Motion trustee Jazowitz, second trustee Zarate. Questions? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Trustee Lawler?
Yes.
Trustee Basta?
Yes.
Trustee Watts?
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Jester?
Yes.
Tax receipts, April 2019, state income tax, $460,102.87. Corresponding to a year ago of $464,836.45, or a 1.02% decrease. May 2019 sales tax, $2,654,616.59, corresponding to a year ago of $2,552,367.76, or a 5.2% increase. May 2019 motor fuel tax, $135,671.56, corresponding to a year ago, $141,703.76, or a 4.3% decrease. And the fee that our General Assembly imposed upon us for collecting sales taxes, which again was passed a couple of years ago with the greed of the General Assembly, take it away from us, spend it at Springfield, and make us find the money that we're owed. This month's was $21,047.61. Motions. Our first motion this evening is to appoint the law firm of Odelson & Stirk Limited as the General Corporate Litigation Counsel for the Village of Bolingbrook, effective July 26th, 2019. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Motion trustee Lawler, seconded trustee Zarate. With Jim's retirement, I mentioned last meeting, we'd be looking at another law firm to serve as village attorney. Proven replacement firm now will provide time to plan for a smooth transition and ensure pending matters such as court cases, labor practice, arbitration, labor negotiations are covered before he leaves sometime in November.
Yes.
I know a lot of law firms over the 34 years, 3 years I've been doing this. A lot of local firms, Mahoney, Silver & Cross out of Joliet, Powers & Cronin out of DePage, Ansel, Kleinthorpe, and the list goes on and on. There's a lot of firms that do legal work. A few years ago, during some of our annexations and our development, the people sitting at the table were represented by a firm, Olson Stirk. Actually, it was Mark Stirk, was the attorney, one of the 2 principal attorneys with the firm. And I got to enjoy Mark Sturck and how professional he was on development agreements and putting things together to build this community where we want it to be. I also observed throughout the area other law firms and what they were doing and other attorneys. And I know that just this past year, Olson Sturck was hired by the Village of Lamont to be their corporate attorney. Naperville Township hired them some time ago, I'm not sure when. Recently, DePage Township brought the firm on board. They have 22 attorneys on staff, and like most attorneys, claim they can do everything. They represent 17 different municipalities, several park districts, and several school districts, and several townships. So they're well-versed in a lot of aspects of the law. So, questions?
No, we did have a chance to get to know them a little bit, and that was a very good session for staff and folks to get to know a little bit about their background and learn about how they're going to be able to serve us in the future. And they have been doing some stuff for us already, so.
Yes, the legal work is a professional service, be selected by the chief executive and recommended to the board for advice and consent. There are those who say, why don't you have a RFQ or a bidding process? Legal counsel for a village of 76,000 doesn't go to the low bid. It goes to the best and most qualified term that has the expertise available in their office to do what needs to be done, sometimes in short terms or emergency situations. And I'm convinced that Old Sturt has those qualifications.
Yeah, I'd say the expertise that was expressed and explained to us in our time with them, in addition to the transition plan, handoff from our current attorney team to the new legal team, gave us a good feeling that we're going to be in good hands moving forward. So just wanted to comment on that.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Basta.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Our next motion to approve the final balancing change order for emergency repair sewage treatment plant number 1. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion trustee Basta, second trustee Zarate. This motion approves the final change order for emergency repair sewage treatment plant number 1. As you'll recall, at the April meeting, the board approved an expenditure up to $115,000 to replace a leaking plant in the sewage treatment plant. The May 14th meeting, the board approved a contract with Aries for $98,388.05 to do the work. As sometimes happened during construction, a conflict with an existing water main arose and required the replacement pipe to be installed lower than anticipated, which required additional work. The change orders for $15,823.58, bringing the total project cost to $114,211.63. Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Basta.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes. Next, a motion to authorize the mayor to execute a proposal from Columbia Capital to investigate and analyze whether a GO bond restructuring will save the village money. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Chadwick, second trustee Lawler. Columbia Capital has served as the village's financial advisor in the past. This engagement letter will allow the company to investigate whether there's a potential savings in refunding the 2010 GO bond issue. No new bond proceeds or monies are being considered. There is no fee if the bonds are not refinanced for this service. These are not new bonds, they're refinancings of bonds that are out there, and we're anticipating a savings of several $1 million. Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Basta.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes. That reminds me, at the last meeting, an individual showed up and had a series of questions on things this board should be doing. And it's kind of stunning, some of the suggestions, which actually showed how poorly the document was prepared. One of which was, before any new bonds are issued, we should talk about it. Well, I've said multiple times publicly, we should never have to issue another bond in this village again. All the capital work that was done of heavy lifting has been done. So there should be no more bonds issued. I've said it time and time again, so I don't know why people don't hear that. But along with that, they also say we should talk about tax abatements before we give them. As mayor, there's never been a tax abatement issued in this village. So I don't know what they're talking about there either, but it just shows how poorly some people research or look at the facts. The first resolution is approving the purchase of an iTouch biometric live scan device for the police department. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion trustee Watts, second trustee Carpenzano. This resolution approves the purchase of a replacement fingerprinting device for the police department. The palm and 10-finger print machine is made by iTouch Biometrics, and the purchase is through the State of Illinois Joint Purchasing Program, so it is being bid by virtue of tying it up with the state bidding process. The total purchase is $19,480 and will replace a 2001 unit that is outdated and out of warranty. The annual maintenance cost is $1,980, which is $8,154 per year, less the current contract of $10,134 a year. So it's going to be a less monthly maintenance. Public Safety Committee has reviewed, recommends approval, and given the fact that our other machine was 2001, my guess is there's been some improvements made in fingerprinting since then. Is this just like the one on CSI that,
We couldn't afford that one, but this one is a huge upgrade. It's purely electronic, and it's connected with the state database, so everything is sent electronically to the state. So the old cards with fingerprint and ink are long gone.
so we don't need as many police officers?
Wow. Discussion for another day.
I would like to see a demonstration of that when it comes in.
Absolutely.
Question? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Trustee Lawler?
Yes.
Trustee Basta?
Yes.
Trustee Watts?
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz?
Yes. The next resolution approving a proposal for Ontario Inc. for quality assurance testing for the 2019 street resurfacing program. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Lawler, second trustee Watts. This resolution accepts a proposal for material testing in the village's 2019 non-MFT road resurfacing program. Testing is required for quality assurance to make sure the specifications are met. Proposals from Intera in the amount of $49,980, and Intera is from the village of Bolingbrook. Their offices, corporate offices, are right here in Bolingbrook on Remington Boulevard. So we're glad to see a local company get to work. Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate?
Yes.
Trustee Lawler?
Yes.
Trustee Basta?
Yes.
Trustee Watts?
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano?
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz?
Yes. All right, we have a series of ordinances. Some have a company planning commission report. The first is a planning commission report approval of special use permit for a plan development with variances of final development plan, Hyatt Place, 131 Remington Boulevard, Victor Soleil, applicant. Is there a motion to accept the planning commission report?
So moved. Second?
Motion trustee Bastos, second trustee Zarate. Questions on the planning commission report? Planning commission report reviewed the development, puts together recommendations, how it fits within our codes, and this is given to us. The recommendation is to approve, and it will be placed on file if it's approved. Roll call vote, please. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It's approved. Now we have the accompanying ordinance, which takes that planning commission report and puts it in ordinance form. Victor Soleil, on behalf of HPB Hotel, is seeking approval of special use permit with variances and final development plan to construct a Hyatt Place Hotel at 131 Remington Boulevard. The proposal is to develop a 65,446 square foot, 4-story building, which will include 110 rooms, indoor pool, fitness center, bar lounge, and outdoor patio. 5 associated variances are being requested. Construction will start this year with completion before the end of 2020. Plan Commission reviewed and recommends approval. Are there any questions? Victor's been a partner in other hotels built here in Bolingbrook. This will take us up to, I believe, 1,000 hotel rooms in Bolingbrook. And again, for the newbies, back in the early 90s, we had 0. And the one thing I know about, when I see people build a convenience store or most retail stores, I sometimes wonder, do we really need a 3rd or 4th or 5th one, 76,000 people? The thing about hotels that I've learned meeting with all these builders and several that haven't built, the hotel industry knows exactly what everybody else is doing. They know who's got the best reservation system. They know the pattern of where people are staying. They know who's coming to Bolingbrook. They know why. We have a number of people that stay at Bolingbrook that go to McCormick Place for conventions because they can spend about half the room rate. They feel comfortable their car is going to be parked in the lot the next morning. They don't have to pay $70 a night for parking. And if you're north of the river downtown and you're going to McCormick Place, it could take you longer to get from there to McCormick Place than it was from Bolingbrook to McCormick Place. So we have a lot of activity of people staying in this, to work in the city, coming out here to stay. And we selection now, and this is going to be it's going to be between the Hampton
And Spring Hill.
and Spring Hill Suites. The front will be a large pond with several fountains lit up and so forth. It's going to be very attractive and get rid of that weed field that we have there now. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Basta.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Next, I have Plan Commission for approval of special use permit for a plan development. Arts of Love, 317 Veterans Parkway. Mrs. Hutchins, applicant. Is there a motion to accept the Plan Commission report?
So moved.
Second?
Motion, trustee Watts, second trustee Zarate. Questions on the Plan Commission report? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Plan Commission report is accepted. Now we have the accompanying ordinance. Approving a special use permit for a plan development for a hair salon and spa establishment, Arts of Love, 317 Veterans Parkway. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion trustee Lawler, second trustee Carpenzano. The retail property at 317 Veterans Parkway, west of Beggar's Pizza, is Zone B2 Community Retail. Parkway Management is a petition for a special use to allow 1,850 square feet of tenant space to be used as a hair salon, including hairstyling, weaving, waxing, and eyelash extensions. It's a non-sales tax generating business which is required to obtain a special use permit in the business zone district. The Planning Commission reviewed and recommends approval. I was thoroughly impressed with the conversations we had regarding this development, and I'm confident they'll be successful in terms of their back and planning and so forth. Kind of an unusual name, but hey, Arts of Love. Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Basta.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot to mention earlier, Friday, hopefully Friday, Andy's opens.
Wow.
Major.
Andy's Custard, 53 in Boughton. It's been a slow build. Certainly wasn't all Andy's fault. They ran into an issue with some dirt that had to be replaced that was underneath a bank. What happened to that dirt 50, 100 years ago, we don't know, but it was taken care of. Then there were a couple of issues with contractors. They had to do underground storage. That was one of the things that slowed it down because there was never any storage allowed in that corner. So when he tore that building down, he had to put in stormwater management, put underground storage, just like Dick Portillo did. Portillo's very expensive, but allowed him to utilize the entire lot. That corner with Portillo's and Andy should be a happening corner. Andy Kuntz, talked to him twice today. He's very excited about it. He came here and built his 7th or 8th one. He's based in Springfield, Missouri. It's also the home of Bass Pro. Came here and built his first one, I think his first one in Illinois. By the end of this year, he'll have 76. So he's done very, very well. I've told people it's kind of a kick as mayor to get to know the people at ATI that went from a small firm to over 600 units, to David McNeil with WeatherTech, who's never got a tax break, never asked for a tax break, to deal with Ben Seidel, who's got several locations now with his fuel injection systems, and Andy Kuntz. I'm missing somebody. G&W Electric, corporate. Well, I'm talking about people at KY that have multiple locations. And, Dave D'Alessandro, the car wash king. Tell him I said that. Anyway, questions? Oh, I don't have a question on that. That was just information. Next, Planning Commission report, special use permit for outdoor dining and extended hours of operation. Danny's Pizza and Burger Bar, 639 East Mountain Road, Suite 105. Is there a motion to accept the Planning Commission report?
So moved.
Motion trustee Basta, second trustee Zarate. Questions of the Planning Commission report? It's right next to Rock Bottom,
Right?
in the mall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It's approved. Next, we have ordinance which approves a special use permit for a sit-down restaurant with outdoor dining, extended hours. Danny's Pizza and Burger Bar. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Sazo, second of trustee Watts. Danny's Pizza and Burger Bar has applied for a special use permit to allow a sit-down restaurant with outdoor dining in the Promenade Suite 105 next to Rock Bottom. The applicant would like to extend the hours to 11 o'clock, Sunday through Thursday, until midnight on Friday and Saturday. The ordinance will approve a sit-down restaurant with outdoor seating. The Plan Commission reviewed and recommends approval. Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Basta.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano.
Yes.
Trustee Jessup.
Yes.
Next, I have Plan Commission Board approval of special use permit for plan development, Ron Staffing Services. John Ross, Ron Staffing Service applicant. Is there a motion to accept the Plan Commission report?
So moved.
Second?
Motion trustee Lawler, second trustee Zarate. Questions on Plan Commission report? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It's approved. Now we have accompanying ordinance approving a special use permit for a plan development for professional office, Ron Staffing Services. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Watts, second trustee Carpenzano. Ron Staffing is currently located north side of the Briar Square Shopping Plaza. They would like to relocate to the west side of the shopping center. The center is Zone B2 Community Retail, non-sales tax generating, required to get a special use permit. Plan Commission recommends approval, so it's relocating within Bolingbrook. Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Basta.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano.
Yes.
Trustee Jessup.
Yes.
Next ordinance approving Chapter 19 of the municipal code regarding disorderly conduct, removing panhandling due to a recent court case. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second?
Who made the motion? Trustee Basta, second trustee Zarate. This ordinance amends Chapter 19, Section 501A-5, disorderly conduct, apply with a recent federal appellate court decision in Norton versus the city of Springfield, Illinois. It was Illinois, right?
Yes.
The revision deletes panhandling or begging from the list of offenses. The courts, in their wisdom, have decided panhandling and begging is okay. Clearly a progressive movement. So when people call up and say, why do we let that guy stand in the corner? The courts. Now, who did you say filed a case recently?
No, the ACLU announced that they had sent a letter to Joliet that they were going to file a suit that Joliet removed panhandling based on this court case.
I mean, I've been around long enough to know that some of these decisions are just stunning. First of all, it's dangerous to have people standing along the right-of-way. It obviously doesn't look good for the town, because people think that poor residents, you know, are broke and so forth in Bolingbrook. I've actually seen panhandlers. There was one woman last year with 2 children, probably 5 or 6 years old, sitting in chairs next to her, and she had a sign up, "Help me feed my children." And she was there for a while, and if she finished, she walked over and got in almost a brand new SUV and drove away. Now, I'm not saying we should have a check IDs or ask for their tax returns to see how much money they do or don't have, or an address. But for the courts to interfere with this is very unfortunate. So, but we have to do it, or we spend a lot of money with the ACLU that has nothing else better to do. Questions, comments?
Ken, not to throw you on the spot, if a person enters the roadway, there's possibly something?
Correct. Now, through the Illinois compiled statutes, through the traffic control section of that, and it's pedestrian in a roadway. So we can still, those folks that are in the median with their signs and all that, we still go out, you're a pedestrian in a roadway. This is specifically for the public way.
Sure.
This ordinance was our local ordinance. So we can still do some enforcement through the Illinois compiled statute.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Basta.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano.
Yes.
Trustee Jessup.
Yes.
Next ordinance approving Chapter 13 of the municipal code regarding increase of Class D2 from 16 to 17 for a restaurant that's at 235 South Bolingbrook Drive. The name of the restaurant is
Perla Negra.
Say it louder.
Perla Negra.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, you left off one
It's-
word. Mariscos.
Oh, I'm sorry. Perla Negra Mariscos.
It's going to be,
Yeah.
it's going to be at the former Buco's, which is a very popular restaurant in the shopping center where Tony's Finer Foods is. I'm very impressed with the work they're doing. They've really gutted the building. They've enlarged the building. They're putting a whole new facade on the building, new lighting. It's going to make what was a rather depressing-looking corner, even though it was a successful restaurant, look bright and shiny. And they know what they're doing. The investor in this restaurant is the son of Bart. If you know Bart from
Burrito Loco.
El Burrito.
Burrito Loco, which has been in Bolingbrook for 30 years. This is, I've known Bart for 30, this is his son who's like in his late 30s now. Anyway, the order increased the number of D2 full-service liquor from 16 to 17 to accommodate Buco's. Questions?
It's also, just to let the public know, it's going to be a seafood place. So mariscos means seafood. So for all of you that want to understand the name of the restaurant, it is a seafood place.
They just couldn't put Perla Seafood? Any other questions?
Mayor, we need a motion.
Roll call vote, please.
We need a motion.
We need a motion.
Oh, motion. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Lawler, seconded by Basta.
Thank you.
Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Basta.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes.
The next ordinance is reestablishing Class C4 liquor license, which will allow the Goat and Vine restaurant to sell wine by the bottle. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Carbonaro, second trustee Zarate. This ordinance reestablishes Class C4 liquor saleable wine bottle license category. It was last used by Wine Styles. The ordinance amends chapters 13 through 26 and -26 and 13-307 to add C4 to accommodate the retail sale of wine by the bottle. The end cost of the license is $1,500. The classification be added to the municipal code in conjunction with the next ordinance. Goat and Vine is being built by the guy that owns Bulldogs. He has like 17 restaurants, and he purchased this restaurant. It was,
Rancho Santa Fe
well,
and,
before that, it's just like the fifth use.
yeah. It was- It's initially the Bourbon Street
Cafe, fabulous place. They spent a lot of money on it. It's right next to the Holiday Inn. The other restaurants didn't make it, but this guy knows what he's doing. You don't have 18 restaurants by not knowing what you're doing. Bulldogs, you go by Bulldogs on a Friday night, that parking lot is always filled, literally filled. And we talked with him, he's got some great ideas, gonna be an outdoor patio, a wine club, and he freely admits he's patterning it after Cooper Rock. And if you didn't see it, the last few days it was reported Cooper Rock's been sold to a investment firm. So Cooper Rock's, who knows what'll happen to it, but they cashed out, so this guy's, he probably knew it because I think they're neighbors. So Goat and Vine's kind of a strange name, but if you go downtown, Goat and Vine fits right in, so I think it's kind of classy. And he's gonna do, he knows what he's doing. We also have Wabi-Q, that should be opening any day, the old Coops. We have the restaurant, used to be the IHOP, is under construction. That's also a seafood Mexican restaurant. There's another restaurant open, I can't think of the name of it right now, but we got like 6 or 7 or 8 restaurants opening within this next couple of months. And of course, Annie's, which is in walking distance of my home.
And it's custard, so it's non-fattening.
Yeah.
Sure.
Roll call vote, questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Basta.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Carpenzano.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes. The next ordinance amending Chapter 13 of the Municipal Code, increasing Class D2 from 17 to 18, D1 from 23 to 24, increasing Class C4 from 0 to 1 for the Goat and Vine, 195 Remington Boulevard, again, right next to the Holiday Inn. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Lawler, second trustee Basta. Goat and Vine is a restaurant moving into 195 Remington Boulevard, former Rancho Santa Fe and Hetman's, and Bourbon Street Cafe, and another place. Couldn't think of all of them.
Blue Coyote.
Blue Coyote. The restaurant will be The restaurant will be similar in concept to Cooper Hawk. In addition to a full menu, the restaurant will wine tastings and sell their own brand of wines. The restaurant plans to open this fall. They are working interior right now, but they're going to be gutting the place and changing it around a great deal. Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Basta.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Provenzano.
Yes.
Trustee Jesselson.
Yes.
Before we go to trustee comments, we have, probably lack of a better word, the senior partner of the law firm that was employed earlier this evening. Well, first of all, any questions from the audience?
Morning, Mr. Mayor, trustees. Joe Jamanco, I'm a local resident. I'm also managing partner of Jamanco Law Partners, local law firm. I'm actually here tonight as a resident, taxpayer, and also as an attorney because I want to make a suggestion to the board and to you, Mr. Mayor, for you to consider. With the retirement of Mr. Bone and the motion made earlier today as far as bringing in new counsel, someone had mentioned this to me recently within the community about the amount of money that we're spending on legal counsel each year. Based upon what they had asked me, I did a little digging. 1.064 million, 1.152 million, 1.058 million, 1.265 million, 1.170 million. Those are the amounts spent by the village in just the last 5 years for which that is posted on the webpage for the village. I mention that because at those numbers, it makes more sense for this village to have dedicated house counsel as employees, not as a law firm. I tell you that because I've run the numbers. I've compared them also to another village, who I'll spare you the name of, but based upon their numbers for both staff, for attorneys, including the managing attorney, overhead. If you eliminate the profit of a law firm, you can save money. And we're talking to the tune of about $200,000 just on average over the past 9 years or so. I didn't go back further than that, but every year the village has budgeted, for the numbers I did look at, between $725,000 and $800,000, between $725,000 and $900,000, and has exceeded its budget by an average of 33%. So we're talking about a couple $100,000 that could go towards police and fire, could go towards facilities, towards debt, towards other employees the village needs, or whatever it wants to spend the money on. I am willing, if any member of the board, or you, Mr. Mayor, want to sit down and talk about the numbers and why I think this makes sense, be happy to do that. And let me just say this, I don't want the work. I don't do this kind of work. It's not what I'm looking for at all. I'm simply here because as a taxpayer, as a person in the community, I see an opportunity for this village to save some money. And now I think is a great time for you to actually take that into consideration, maybe form a committee and actually take a serious look at it. Thanks.
My only comment would be on that is that I don't know what other community you're calling or quoting from, but this community has grown a great deal in the last several years. And there's continually projects going on of significant development, including millions and millions of dollars of investment, including a lot of annexations, a lot of things we've had to do that are very complicated. And I have always felt as mayor that I want qualified legal counsel at my side on these negotiations and know precisely what they're doing to avoid some of the mistakes I see our neighboring communities get into with faulty development agreements and faulty discussions which lead to litigation and so on and so forth. I don't have those numbers in front of me. Obviously what you report may in fact be correct. I don't know. I'll double check it with Jim in the morning. But I think this village could be proud of the legal expertise we've had and the developments we've got and the agreements we've developed with a number of people. And of course, one of the things that attorney's fees goes for is negotiations. We have 6 unions we are constantly in negotiations, and that eats up a lot of things. In fact, a lot of the work has gone to FOIAs that people continually submit and have to redact and so forth, that information back to the public who are requesting all that information. But it's a good suggestion. We'll take a look at it. Before we, anybody else in the audience? Before you and trustee comment report, we do have the senior attorney of Olson Strick with us this evening, so I'd like to ask Bert Olson if he'd come up and at least say hello. You don't need to bring our agenda with you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Village Board, for the affirmative vote tonight. We're very, very happy and very proud to be the new village attorneys in Bolingbrook. I live only 10 minutes away in Burridge. It's real easy to get here. We have 47 years of experience in the practice of municipal law, and as the mayor said, we represent many different units of government, including county government also, and for the state General Assembly from time to time. So our expertise is widespread. Not one person can do everything. That's why in-house counsel doesn't always work, and you have to farm work out. We're special counsel in Aurora. We're special counsel in other big cities, including Chicago, because municipalities who get sued, in-house counsel doesn't always have the expertise to defend civil rights suits and other types of actions that many innovative lawyers are filing against municipalities these days. So on behalf of my firm, Elizabeth Shine is here from the firm, one of the other senior attorneys, Carrie Horvath, who had to be in Blue Island tonight, will also be one of the regular mainstays in Bolingbrook. You'll see my face a lot. I look forward to serving with Mayor Claire and the board and the department heads. We were pleased to meet many of the department heads the other day, and all the trustees. I just want to say it's an honor, and I thank you for the privilege of serving. One other thing, we vest ourselves in the community, so you'll see myself, you'll see members of our firm at your community events. We don't believe in just taking municipality, we give back. And we do that with all of our municipalities and our governmental agencies, no matter if it's the Chamber, the Lions, the Rotary, whatever it is, whatever the mayor and the board think we should participate in, we will participate in. And you'll see a lot of us in Bolingbrook, especially Andy's, which I take my grandkids to all the time. So I'm pleased we're going to have one in Bolingbrook too.
Closer to the house.
Pardon?
Would you introduce?
Elizabeth Shine. Liz is a senior partner. She does the property tax appeal work, defending our municipalities and school districts. She also does the general municipal work, the economic incentive agreements, meets with developers. Carrie Horvath, who isn't here, does the labor work along with me. The mayor's correct. Negotiating labor contracts, doing the grievances, the unfair labor practices, burn a lot of time. And again, I don't want to knock the in-house counsel, but you can't have one or two people in-house who are experts in labor law, litigation, economic development, FOIA, all the areas of law that require experts' attention. We've been able to help save money in the municipalities we're in because we don't reinvent the wheel. We use what we've got, we use what we've learned, we use it again. So again, I hope I didn't talk too long.
Any questions?
Any questions? Happy to answer any questions. We got a lot of questions the other day. I was pleased to answer, and as you know, we communicate very well through email, through phones, and through in person. And I'll be here anytime you need me.
Bert,
Yes,
I'll just echo. It was really neat to hear that you are special in-house counsel other places, and how much you still look outside.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to know the expertise across a vast variety of projects, lawsuits, things along those lines.
And as Mayor Claire alluded to, some lawyers think they can do it all, and we think we can't do it all because we have the personnel to do it all. I can't do it all. Liz can't do it all, but we have the experts who can do it all. So I float from municipality to municipality when the need arises, but I'm going to kind of make this my home, if you don't mind. Thank you, Mayor Claire.
Okay. After Mr. Giamacco spoke and I spoke, and while Bert was coming up, Jim handed me a sheet, because this question apparently came up last week when Bert was meeting with the trustees. I did not go to that meeting intentionally because I know Bert, I know the qualifications firm, I know what he can do, and I did not want to be perhaps an impediment to open conversation. So I intentionally did not go with the trustees, and the department has met with him. But apparently that same question came up at that meeting, and Jim went on the web and pulled down the budgets of other communities who have in-house counsel. And some of these are compared population-wise, some aren't, but population doesn't have all that much to do with it. You negotiate a police contract, it doesn't matter if you have 200 police or 10 police, it still takes a lot at the same time. Bloomington, Illinois, similar in size, legal counsel 1.6 million. Elgin, 1.455 million. Joliet, 2.6 million. Naperville, 1.3 million. Rockford, 1.7 million. Bolingbrook's actual in 2018-19 was 911,000. In 2017-18, 1,000. So in-house counsel is not always cheaper, but it's still worth looking at. But I do like the expertise of having a large firm, because if I got a question about a federal case, I don't want to call somebody I want somebody that's got access to somebody that has federal litigation experience, and that is a different world in federal courts. That's why most of your personnel matters, the attorneys represent people in those issues, typically want to get it right to federal court, because it's a whole different playing field in federal court than it is elsewhere. Thanks for bringing that tonight. Trustee comments report. Trustee Zarate.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I would like to extend my condolences to Pat Shank's family. She was a wonderful trustee. Yes, she did think that she was the mayor's mom, and she really liked hearing that. I got to know Pat, and I loved her. We sat on CSC with Carol and Peggy, and we had a really great time. She was always joking around, and she loved Mike, and Mike Lauder as well. You know, she had a great sense of humor. She will be truly missed. I have a couple announcements. Fountaindale Public Library will be hosting their ice cream social and movie night. This will be on Monday, July 29th from 5 to 8 p.m. Join us for ice cream, food, games, and a photo op with Spider-Man, and much more. At dusk, sit back and watch Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse on a giant inflatable screen, all ages. Schedule of events from 5 to 8. Free ice cream, limited one per person while supplies last. Photo op with Spider-Man, climbing wall, trackless train rides, food vendors, games. Dusk approximately about 8:30. Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse on a giant, they already said that. We hope you could come out, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who love Spider-Man. Well, why don't you come on out? I also have another one. It's called Mexican Independence Day. It's called the Grito, and that's the day Mexico just was given their independence. It will be held here in Bolingbrook at 375 Broadcliff Road on Saturday, September 14th. A lot of great music, vendors. It's a wonderful time. It was a success last year. It was beautiful. If you have any, if you'd like for some information, the phone number is 815-528-0732, and there's also another number, 773-270-6755. If not, you can reach them online at ELGRITO Bolingbrook@gmail.com. I'm also going to say this in Spanish for the Spanish-speaking people up there in Bolingbrook. Celebración de la Día de la Independencia de México, El Grito, en Bolingbrook, sábado, el 14 de septiembre. El teléfono es 815-528-0732 o 772-270-6755, y el Gmail es ELGRIDO Bolingbrook at gmail.com. That's, like I said, that's a great event. Come on out and have a good time. And thank you very much. So I have.
I thought you were going to read your entire report again, Isabel.
She'll do
Trustee
that-
Lawler.
She'll do that next time.
Yeah.
Condolences to the Shanks family. Pat and I are near birthday buddies, a day apart, so we shared that fun. But she earned all the respect and love that was possible to be given to her. And she did make a lot of sacrifices in serving this community and did it with true love for the community. So look forward to spending some time with the family at her service and being able to honor her some more. As a proud member of the Bolingbrook Lions, Thursday, August 22nd at the Promenade Rockin' Recycling, and it's not recycling plastics, it's recycling eyeglasses, hearing aids, and cell phones. So you can do a lot for the visually impaired, hearing impaired community by donating these items at the event, and also come out and enjoy some great music. They were out last year. Raising Cane is the band, and they do a great job of all kinds of music. So come out and enjoy, and you can also look at becoming a Bolingbrook Lion at the event. So encourage everyone to come out August 22nd. And happy birthday, Lucas.
Thank you.
I won't sing.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to echo the trustees' condolences to the Shank family. I didn't know Pat very well until the election, actually. And throughout the election, she was constantly sending me Facebook messages of encouragement. So that I'm very sorry I didn't get to know her better, actually. Coming up on July 26th, join the Bolingbrook Arts Council for Ravinia-like concert atmosphere. Each of these events in the Bolingbrook Promenade include a free jazz concert from 7 to 9 p.m., fine art fair featuring local artists, and a group beginner dance lesson. Prior to the concert, feel free to bring out your tables, your chairs, your picnic atmosphere for a night out. All ages are welcome. That's 7 to 9, July 26th, and a second one on August 30th. We also have coming up on August the 6th at Panera, 1196 West Boughton Road, Coffee with the Chiefs. And this event has become bigger and bigger and bigger. We actually ended up on the sidewalk at our last event, right?
Cafe atmosphere.
So it's where Chief Teppel and some of the department heads come out and share with us what's going on with the public safety group. That's all I have. Thank you.
Well, I too would like to express my sincere condolences to the Shanks family. From the time I became engaged and involved in the community, Pat was one of those warm and friendly individuals from day one. She served this community with a pure heart for service and love of this community, and it was an honor to get to know her. And we stand on the shoulders of people like Pat Shanks, who was here from the beginning, worked hard to establish this community, and wow, look at what this community has become. And I enjoyed spending time with her and sitting down and hearing stories of how the only village police car was parked in her driveway, and just other amazing, amazing historical notes. And so Pat will truly, truly be missed. A few updates here. September 7th, the Bolingbrook Joy Fest will take place from 1 to 6 p.m. It's a family fun Christian music festival. It's taking place right here behind Village Hall, 375 West Briarcliff Road, here in Bolingbrook. Mark your calendars. There'll be food vendors, live music, product vendors, youth ministries, and a whole lot more. So again, that's September 7th, 1 to 6 p.m., Bolingbrook Joy Fest. The Finance Department wants to let you know, as you know, we've rolled out the refuse billing, direct billing, and you can now pay that bill online. It's available online on the village website, or you can always call and make a payment as well at 630-226-8430. You can bring it in. You can drop it in the mailbox out front. There are many different payment options, but we definitely want to make you aware that you can make payment online. We wanted to make that accessible and easy for you. The Community Mobile Pantries is back again, August 5th. That's taking place at the New Hope Baptist Church, 509 East Briarcliff Road here in Bolingbrook. The time is 4 to 6 p.m. That is, again, New Hope Church in conjunction with West Suburban Community Pantry. Great, great atmosphere. If you know someone that is in need of food, please let them know. There's great quality food there, and New Hope treats the guests there with respect. And we just want to make sure everybody knows about that, August 5th, New Hope Baptist Church, 4 to 6 p.m. Thank you.
My condolences as well to the family of Pat Shanks. As you can see from the picture that was pulled off Facebook, what's on Facebook is forever on Facebook. So Pat and I had that kind of relationship. That picture actually was taken from a fundraiser we had for Power Connection. A sweet woman with one of my favorite types of humor, and she will be dearly missed. So thoughts and condolences to the family. A big thank you to Director Teppel and Deputy Chief Rampa and Deputy Chief Garza. I had opportunity with a few folks up here to do some public safety ride-alongs and tours. Everyone thinks it's fun. You know, you get in a squad car, you throw on the lights. That's very exciting as a new trustee, but truly it was really neat to hear from our professionals out there, and I'm truly honored to represent our police and fire departments out there serving our residents every day. Bert, Mr. Odelson, I appreciate the team that came in for that meet and greet. It was a true, hopefully, foreshadowing of what's to come. A lot of investment there and a lot of time, so I appreciate you doing that. The Bolingbrook Pathways Parade, save the date, Sunday, September 8th. It steps off at 2 p.m. at Bolingbrook High School. This year's theme is Our Youth, Our Future. If you'd like to register to be in the Pathways Parade, you can go to bbcca.org, and there's an application on there. Of course, right afterwards is PathFest from 2 to 6 p.m., music, awards, food trucks, games, and more. And then one final date for you, the Taste of Bolingbrook, Saturday, August 10th, from 12 to 10 p.m. That's at the Promenade Bolingbrook. Of course, free admission, free parking, and this year it's bigger and better. 6 bands, 2 stages, family fun zone, a treasure hunt sponsored by Escape Our Room. Again, that's Saturday, August 10th, from noon to 10 at the Promenade Bolingbrook. Thank you.
I'll echo my fellow trustees in regards to Trustee Pat Shanks. My condolences to her family. She was a wonderful woman. I've known her for 20 plus years and got to do a lot of different things with her at different fundraisers, different events, and she will be missed. Lucas, happy birthday.
Thank you.
40's a big one. I hate to say it, but you look a little over. No. When we met last week, or the last month at the, Becky Trenier came up, excuse me, to the podium, and she gave a report from an on-the-table group that local residents got together, met with, to talk about many of the good things that are going on here in the village of Bolingbrook, and also areas that need some improvement. The group was not a political group, even though it was insinuated that after they gave the report. But it was a group that was met. They were independent people, residents that were there for open discussion about what to do and what they would like to recommend to us as trustees in the village. This event was held only because there was another on the table. This is an ongoing yearly event. And there was an on the table held at the Promenade a few weeks earlier, but unfortunately that one was screened quite heavily. And you either had to pass the screening test or you were not allowed to attend that. And I did ask for that report of that on the table, because ours was given to all the trustees and the mayor. I did not receive that report. I contacted trustee Carpenzano to see if I could get a copy of it, but I was refused that report. Following that report, the mayor quickly pointed out some of the misgivings of the report, and that's fine, but I think our responses should be more an educational response rather than just telling residents who took the time out of their day and away from their family to show that they care about this village, that they do not know what they're talking about. That's disrespectful. Instead of praising the effort, it was looked down upon. We should be encouraging residents to get involved, not discouraging them. Civil disagreement is part of our American history, and some of our trustees need to learn that. One of the things I notice is that we are very defensive up here. Instead of welcoming our residents to come up and tell us their thoughts and ideas or ask questions about our decisions, we discourage them and challenge them. We need to do better at having open communication with our residents. I, as all of you, will represent all the residents, not just the ones that voted for me, not just the ones that think like me or have the same political persuasion, but all the residents. As trustees, if you only listen to one side, your thinking becomes very skewed. One of the trustees up here is infamous for blocking anyone who disagrees with him on social media. All that does is upset the residents, and that's not why you were voted in here. You need to listen to other people. We took an oath a few months ago to represent everybody, and if you shut them out, you can't hear what they want, and you can't hear what they hope you would do for them. We all know that Bolingbrook is a wonderful place to live and play. We have tons of features that most towns around here envy, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. We need to have an open mind to what others want and need. What we see and view as the needs of our village may not be the same needs and wants of others that live here. We need to be open to hear what others have to say instead of purposely shutting them out and becoming defensive. I have had residents who come to me and want to talk about a certain issue or problem, and I encourage them to come up during public comments and say something, but they truly are afraid to do so, not because they're afraid to have public speaking, but they don't feel that they'll be treated with respect at times when they come up there, or they're afraid of the rebuttals that they'll get instead of just the acceptance of, hey, I'm a resident and I have some ideas too, please listen to me. Instead of saying thank you for your opinion and thoughts and we'll take it under advisement, the attitude is how dare you say something bad about our town. So I'm encouraging you to be more respectful instead of disrespectful, and encourage other residents to be involved in our decision-making process. That's it.
Wow,
Can
wait, go ahead.
So, while I appreciate what you've said and what you've shared, there's a couple of people in the audience today who have come up and have spoken and have been respected with their comments. What I think is disheartening is your comments are clearly pointed towards one person. And my question to you is, I would prefer that if there's issues within or between the trustees, that they be addressed with the trustees.
That effort was made very concertedly, very definitely made that effort over and over, and I've been...
So that's number one. Number two is Facebook is Facebook. And if we're going to talk about Facebook and attacks and who's blocked and who's not blocked, we'll be here forever, and I honestly don't want to be here forever. So my personal Facebook page, as well as yours and everybody else here, is just that. And if I don't want someone on it, that's my prerogative, as well as trustee Carpenzano's prerogative, as well as your prerogative. And I think we need to mature, we need to grow up, 76,000 people that we need to deal with, and everybody is welcome to come up here. I know that before sitting up here, I came up here and I spoke, and I never once had an issue. So if you come up here with information that is wrong, if you come up here with information that's attacking, if you come up here with information that's not correct or accusing, yeah, what do you expect? I'm not going to baby people that do that. And again, I have the utmost respect for you as well as everybody else. But going on attack mode and a 5-page essay is just not the way to do it, in my opinion. Sorry.
You know, Bob, one of the things you have to understand too as a sitting trustee is when you go to these meetings of the 20 or 25 people out of 76,000, most of whom have been on a webpage continuously badgering me for this or that decision I've made or not made. When there's a fact said at these meetings, as a sitting trustee, I think you have almost a responsibility through your oath to correct them when they're wrong. For example, the tax abatement thing, which was mentioned at least twice. We've not done any. You should know that. And when it's stated, you should tell them that so they don't look stupid putting it on this report. I don't know who wrote this report, and Jackie gave it. Jackie, for those of you who don't know, she was opposition in the last mayoral election, and probably the dirtiest election I've ever seen in this village in 40 years. But that's neither here nor there. We could all point sides at who was this or who was that. But continuing talking about municipal debt when I've said repeatedly, we have no need for more municipal debt. But yet you let that get said and you let that get put in print. I was even told that the letter went out inviting people to this open table from the Democratic Township Organization. Many of the officers were present that night. I'm glad to see they signed it because the chairman, vice chairman, and so forth, the committee were there. So, and then to suggest, this is what's particularly insulting to me, but I realize you guys don't mind insulting me, and frankly, it's hard to insult me anymore. Appoint people fairly to the village commission no matter what their political party. I would suggest, I would like for one person in 34 years of being mayor to show where I have appointed somebody or not appointed somebody based on a political party. I don't even know what political parties these people are. Tina, did I ask you what your political party was?
No.
Didn't he talk to you? So to suggest that I screen people on political party is truly an insult to my professionalism and longtime service as mayor. And yes, when I see things like that in here, do I get excited about saying, hey, thanks for your observations? As ridiculous as some of them are. The suggestions on the school district, carry those to the school district. Have more career fairs in the school. Take that to the superintendent. Bike pass, take that to the park district. I mean, did you read this?
I glanced at that. I read it in more detail after the fact.
Ah, well, were you at the meeting?
I attended part of it, yes.
Well, I'm just saying, you folks need to be more accurate and presentable and show me where I've ever blocked anybody from talking to me. Maybe they feel tough. They don't feel comfortable coming and talk to me, but put on their big boy pants and come talk to me if they got a question. Or big girl pants, I don't want to get. I mean, and then to put a moratorium on, quote, warehouses. First of all, these are distribution buildings, they're not warehouses. And if anybody knows what's going on in town, we're approaching 34 million square foot of building. We have left 120 acres, which is under construction with the Lambert Farm. And now we've picked up 120 in the middle of where old Chicago used to be. That's it, we're built out. So we could put a moratorium on things that don't exist. Quit using staffing agency. We approved a staffing agency tonight. You voted for it. Staffing agencies are a way of life in this world today. So when you read this, you think, wow. It's like, it's time to maybe do some homework before you start sending 6-page, what do they call it? Well, it's beyond the table.
Mayor, can I, just because my name was mentioned, can I make one quick comment? I know we want to leave. I love this community, all right? But let me tell you one thing that everyone watching on TV and everyone here and anyone that'll watch the replay is not interested in is 5-page political essays which are not benefiting our community. Our residents want their children to have safe passage to school. They want to have great roads. They want to make sure that the snow's plowed. They want to make sure that our village is as amazing as it is. And they don't want to hear personal attacks, political attacks, I don't know what it is. But to question my ability to hear from residents is disconcerting. I'm not going to elaborate on it. Bob and I can have a conversation without anyone else having to deal with that. But it's disrespectful, and I think it's inappropriate for someone sitting on this board. With that, I'll yield my remainder of my time.
And as far as legal fees, part of those legal fees we spend money on is the lawsuit you have against Village Bob. So that drains those legal fees too. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. We stand adjourned.